Hello there, Charity Shop Addict back with another set of vinyl records that I bought from my local charity shops near where I live and close to where I work. So these were all bought within the last couple of weeks. Um, some pretty decent ones. Some that I'm a little bit disappointed with for various reasons, and one that I just threw in for fun, basically. So you probably work out which one that is. So kick it off with a Deep Purple live in London, 57 minutes of heavy rocking music. Apparently, that's what it promises. So the lineup, Deep Purple went through various lineups, and I believe this is their third, or what they call the Mark III lineup. It's got 6 tracks on. Side two's got just 2 on. Smoke on the Water, obviously. Probably one of the most famous riffs in rock music. On the second side, so I don't know that much about Deep Purple, to be honest. So I kind of want to get into them. So this is hopefully quite a good introduction. So most live albums I've got actually two records on. So I would have preferred to have I would have preferred it if it was a double album covering more of their material, but there you go. So it's got an inside sleeve with some pictures of the band, and it's on the Harvest label. This was from a local charity shop. It was a £5. It's probably a bit more than I would like to pay, but it seemed like an okay price point. I'm sure in most shops it would cost a lot more, probably a lot closer to a tenner. So I'm pretty pleased with that. I need to give it another listen, to be honest. Most of the time at the moment I'm listening to music as I'm working in my office here. So I think I need to kind of concentrate on it a bit more. Second one from in the same shop. So before I kind of bring it on the screen, I should say that one thing I want to do kind of come on the side is, as well as getting music I want to listen to, get music with like just really terrible album covers. So this was actually listed on a website of terrible album covers but actually okay sounding records. So it's the Scorpions, and it's the Love Drive album. So, and this album sleeve is just a bit problematic, I would say. Probably couldn't get away with this kind of thing today. It's certainly of his time. This guy just looks like a complete sex pest, really. So the Scorpions, German band, Wind of Change, that was one of their big hits. Well, I think that was when they were a bit more commercial. This is still fairly commercial stuff. I've got to be a bit careful as I show this one because it's a little bit racy. So, what year was this? I think this is late 70s, 79. Some good stuff on here. I enjoyed listening to this. There's an instrumental track which I was not kind of expecting. So this is like, I think they're supposed to be like a heavy rock band, but they're not. By this point, they're not actually that heavy. It's kind of melodic rock, I guess. But yeah, I really enjoy listening to this again. Probably try and pick up some more of their stuff. So again, this was another £5 job. So not the cheapest, but it's in pretty good nick. It's probably the kind of thing that if I went to an Oxfam, it would be a lot more expensive. I think the shop I got this from tends to be fairly reasonably priced, fairly priced, I would say. It's on the same label. Next one. Next one is just a bit of a silly purchase. So if you grew up like I did in the 80s in the UK or late 70s, these faces will probably look familiar to you. So it's from TV show Rainbow, children's TV show, and it's just like 20 songs from that. I had to pick this up really. As soon as I saw it, I'm kind of a sucker for anything kind of 80s and kids TV related. So actually, some of this was. I mean, some of it's, yeah. I mean, I guess you can't really criticize it, but some of it is obviously quite childish. But some of the songs are, yeah, I found myself humming along to. Yeah. So actually, you might also recognise this guy, because this is Matthew Corbett, who was part of this trio, and he went on to present the Sooty show. So the puppet Sooty, and his father originally did it, then he took over. So then, yeah, I can't say too much. I'm not going to go on about this because it's just a bit of fun, really. It's a bit of a laugh. If ever anyone ever comes round, we have a few beers, I'll probably play with and get a kick out of it. Next one. Next one is a bit of a fail. So it's the Hollies. Hollies compilation. 24 genuine top 30 hits. I don't know what they mean. Genuine top, as opposed to like made up top 30 hits. What are they on about there? I've been after a Hollies compilation for a while, but basically it was one of my dad's favourite bands, and we would tend to have a Hollies either CD or cassette in the car when we were going places. Actually, it was one of their songs that we played at his funeral, which isn't actually on here, which is probably a good thing, because I don't know if I can actually listen to that anymore for obvious reasons. So that song was Air That I Breathe, and I think that must have come out after this compilation. So I mean, yeah, I think I was taken in by the cover, which is kind of nice and shiny, a little bit battered on the edges there, and it's got a nice kind of gatefold. The record itself is kind of scratched to buggery, really. But no, I didn't manage to spot it in the shop. I think the only thing I can think of is I didn't have my glasses on, because I've got to wear a face mask at the moment, and I take my glasses off if I've got the face mask on, and so maybe I didn't see the scratches, but some of them are fairly obnoxious, and I'm kind of worried about playing this on my record player. I've got a slightly crappy record player downstairs that I might give it a go on, just to see, or I might keep the cover in case something a bit nicer comes along. And that was £3 that, so that's a bit of a balls up. It's a slightly better set. The next 3 ones were all in the same shop, and I kind of had to go. I had to kind of go away and look them up, because you probably know how it is when you're flicking through the charity shop vinyl. It's usually the same old crap, like Barry Manilow and bloody Jim Reeves and all that kind of stuff, and something kind of sticks out as being a bit different. And these next 4 free records just looked as though they might be interesting. So I basically had to go away and over the weekend and do a bit of research. And this band is The Adventures, which is, I had no clue. So they're from the late 80s. Or possibly, yeah, so it's 88, yeah. So then they're a Irish band. Had a couple of minor hits apparently. So yeah, basically, I kind of, from the cover, I assumed they were kind of indie rock band, which is kind of what they are, basically indie kind of rock, vaguely synthy, very catchy. Just very accessible, catchy music, really. Which is kind of what I need at the moment. I'm kind of in my office, listening to music. I need something that's just, I don't want to call it background music, because that's kind of a bit derogatory, but it's just nice to put on and listen to. It's not particularly challenging, but yeah, I really like this one. So this was £3, so I didn't want to just jump in on it, having spent £3 on a Hollies record that's a bit dodgy. So there's that one in this shop. Next one is along similar kind of vein, really. So this is, again, I had to look this up. So this is called River City People. Say Something Good. And these were, so this is another late 80s, yeah, late 80s. So this is, okay, so the album originally came out in, looks like 88. It's another kind of indie rock, so a female lead vocalist. So it came out in the late 80s, and then it was re-released, because apparently they had a hit with a cover of California Dreaming, which I could probably take it or leave it, to be honest, because yeah, I think the Mamas and Papas version, you probably can't really beat that. Oh, I forgot to show what was inside the Adventures record. Inside here, yeah, picture of the band. There's no lyrics sheet with this. But, oh yeah, the lyrics are on the back. It's on. What radio is this on? EMI looks like, yeah. So the weird thing was they actually had 2 copies of this record, which seemed a bit bizarre, for something I'd never seen or heard of before. So they had 2 copies. One was, so there was this one with obviously released, and then the original one. The original one actually signed by the band, so the lead singer and I think one of the guitarists had signed it. That's the other copy, not the one I got. But the other copy was, and the record was not in very good condition, to be honest. I mean, if they were a bit cheaper, I probably would have got both, but I could probably live without a signed copy, to be honest. I can't imagine there's much market for a River City People signed copy. But yeah, again, pleasant. It's nothing you probably haven't heard before, but you know, if you like that kind of thing, you'll probably get a kick out of this. And another one, so same batch of 3. This really piqued my interest. This is Pig Iron. Nice texture to the sleeve. So I had to look this up, and unlike the other 2 which I found on Spotify, I couldn't find this on Spotify, so it was a bit of a shot in the dark. Although I couldn't find really much about them apart from a Discogs entry. So they are a kind of jazz fusion band from New York. I think this is their only album. Yeah, really good actually. Really good listen. It's the cover of "I Put a Spell on You" is like really enjoyable. So that's probably the most recognisable song. But all the others are, yeah, really good stuff actually. So, I mean, I don't think it's particularly, although it's fairly unusual, I don't think it's, you know, particularly valuable or anything. I've seen some copies on eBay going for like £10-15, but I don't know if they actually sell for that much. Let's have a look inside. It's a Columbia, yeah. Pretty good mix. So yeah, so jazz fusion New York band. I don't know how that ended up in the charity shop in Sheffield, but I guess we'll never know. On to another shop. So this first one is another bit of a fail. So it's Average White Band, and I got confused. I thought Average White Band. I confused them with another band because I thought they were like a folk outfit, and they're basically like it's like a disco album. And it's got the track "Let's Go Round Again" on, which is, you know, disco classics. I don't know why I didn't pick this up. I don't know why I didn't pick up on that. I'm not into disco at all, so it's not really their record's fault. It's just I don't know. I just got a bit excited when I saw something that I hadn't seen before. It's got lyrics. I'll give it a chance, I guess. But yeah, I possibly might have to give that away. So next one I was kind of intrigued by, because it's looked to be in. I assumed it was like a new band, because the record is in just really good shape. The band is Dear Enemy, and well, actually, when I looked at the information on it, it's like 1983. And it's an Australian record, so it's an Australian band, and yeah, looking up on it, it looks like this is their only release. They're like I've listened, so I haven't actually listened to this album yet, although I've listened to it on Spotify. This picture of the band and lyrics. So yeah, Australian synth band. Add into my Australian synth band collection. Well, it's actually it comprises my entire Australian synth band collection at this point. I'll give it a go, but this was £1. The prices in this shop the shop I got this from are pretty inconsistent. So you have this for £1. The average white band was £3, but then they got stuff like they had a Wishbone Ash album for, I think they wanted £20 for that, and then they had Trick of the Tail by Genesis for £10. I mean, maybe they were in rare pressings and stuff, but still, yeah. I don't know. I guess it depends on who does the pricing on that particular day, but £1, yeah. It seems to be pretty good from what I've heard so far, and end up with another live album. Yeah, so this is, as I understand it, it's one of the best selling live albums of all time. It's Peter Frampton, and it's one of the, I don't know what the term is, but it folds that way, vertically, I guess. So to be honest, my only reference point from Peter Frampton is that he appeared in The Simpsons one time, when Homer tours with that music festival, like the Homer Palooza episode. Yes, I don't know much about this apart from it's probably not a cool album anymore. But yeah, I'll give it a shot. Yeah, it's double live album, and I'll just show one of these. Cover's a bit scabby. Yeah, I paid £5 for this. I don't know why I paid. I'm usually quite tight when it comes to most things, but if I see a record that I like the look of, I kind of go a bit mad. Anyway, there's the record. Yeah, I need to rein it in a bit maybe. But there we go. So mixed bag. One that's just like a novelty record. A couple of decent live albums. Some heavy rock, a bit of kind of indie rock. Oh, actually, there was one more. Speaking of novelty records. 50p. Yeah, John Ketley's The Weatherman. How do I explain this? What year is it? 88. So the premise is there was indeed, and still is, a weatherman called John Ketley, and his name doesn't rhyme with anything. So they wrote a song for him, and they list lots of the famous people from the same era in British pop culture, and the line about that person is something that rhymes with their name. Like Richard Keys has got no knees. David Icke rides a bike, all that kind of stuff. When it comes to John Ketley, they just say John Ketley's a weatherman. Yeah, so it's pretty silly stuff, really. Yeah, 50p. I couldn't really say no to that, to be honest. Right, so that concludes the video. It's gone on a bit. So thanks for watching. Thanks for watching to my videos so far. I'm kind of new to this whole thing. So yeah, hopefully I'll get a little bit better, maybe production wise and kind of yeah, quality, just general quality wise. I'm kind of using it as an excuse to practice my presentation skills, because I have to do that quite a lot for work at the moment. So it's kind of an outlet to share some of the things I found. So thanks a lot, and I'll see you again soon. I'm hopefully going charity shopping at the weekend. The weather forecast is pretty miserable. The wife's out of town, so I'm just going to basically get a bus ticket and ride around. I've got like a route planned of like a whole heap of different charity shops I've never been to before, so hopefully I'll pick something up. It'll probably just be a load of rubbish, and I'll probably just get really annoyed with myself. But there you go. That's what happens when you buy your vinyl from charity shops. Right. Thanks a lot. I'll see you next time.